All right. Welcome, everybody, to Idiotic Perspective. I'm your one host, Austin,
I'm your second host, Steven.
and we have some guests with us. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure.
I'm Casey, co-owner of Ward the Trading Card Game.
I'm Tom Casey, also the other co-owner of World Trading Card Game and Joe's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, y'all don't really look alike that much. I
Wait
don't
till
see it.
Right?
If I were to shave my hair and grow a goatee, I bet you.
Look, fair, fair.
Yeah.
There.
We sound the same on phones, though.
I will say the voice is very similar. Yeah, I will say
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
Well, it's funny because in our family, like both Joe and we have four brothers. The first one and the third one are dark haired, and then me and the fourth brother are both blonde haired. So it's
Okay.
like
Once upon a time, Tom
yeah,
was blonde haired.
yeah,
It
yeah,
jumped
right.
genes.
Hey,
Interesting.
look, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. I went bald super young, so I'm 24. I went bald at 22. So
Oh,
this is about as
I
much
knew a
as it
guy like
gets.
that. Yeah, there was a guy in college I knew that was like that. 21 and he was bald.
Ah, it's lovely. I get it from my dad the same way. He was able to rock the hair in the back though. He kept a long, gross mullet, bald
Oh.
up top. Nah,
I've
I couldn't
never
do that.
seen him with
Like-
that. You've
like
talked
that
about
Hulk-
before.
Mhm. We had that when I was a kid. Ugh. All right, yeah, we brought you guys on because me and Steven both love playing Ward. We have a blast with
Mhm.
it and everything, and we wanted to
Yeah.
ask some questions about it and like pick your brains a little bit on it.
Yeah, just a little questioning here and there.
Yeah.
What
Sure.
to start out with? What was the main inspiration for even creating a card game to begin with?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
So in my previous employment before this, I was working in a school and we had a couple snow days and I like to the point that I was the only person in this entire building. So I kind of started monkeying around on Paint 3D, just like making cards for just like no reason. I was just like had nothing to do. And then
That's pretty fun.
yeah.
That's cool.
So but the first rendition of the card looked really, really ugly and it kind of had like a Pokemon look to it that it was I think back to it, the main color was green and the border was yellow. It was like
Mm.
Packers colors, and I looked at that. I'm like, we're from Minnesota. We can't have those colors.
No,
Yeah.
Definitely not. No.
So, but it actually had like a flat damage on it too. And I'm like, this would be fun. Maybe I'll slap together like 20 cards. We had a nerd weekend coming up where we go out and at our cabin and we just kind of like video game and play board games and stuff all weekend long, kind of
Mhm.
uninterrupted and with no internet.
Marty was
So I
talking
was-
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna slap some stuff together and I started working through my head like, this would be fun, but like, like, okay, I'm gonna do 50 damage. They have a card that's gonna do 20, and then like we're just gonna know how that's gonna play out. So I'm like, what could we do that would make this more interesting? And then I thought of like dice, and I was actually gonna use like because Tom does our DMing for D&D nights, and
that's
like,
awesome.
we play a lot of D&D, but we tend to always never have the encounters. We just screw around the whole time.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
like we just like never get to fighting. So I'm like maybe a concept like D&D would be good, but like simplified down to only using six-sided dice would be a lot of fun to do something like that. So essentially like my plan was like bring these cards out here and like, hey, we want to play D&D, but we just want to fight things. So just pull these cards out and we'll play. So we ended up I ended up making how many was it right away, Tom? Like maybe 80, like 80 cards to start.
wow,
Yeah, it was like something like that.
Yeah, and we're not talking like these were like manufactured. This is like two pieces of cardstock glued together. And
yeah,
then,
yeah. Marty was telling us about how they were.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
whatever works. I love that.
and then, and then I
You-
cut
you-
out every single
yeah.
one of them too, just
Oh,
with the
that's crazy.
scissors. And my wife would yell at me. She's like, "Why don't you just use the big like chopping thing?" I'm like, "Because it doesn't get the edges right. The
Mhm.
edges got to be perfect." I
Mhm.
don't know why, like at the time, but
Right? They were handmade. Like who cared?
yeah. Handmade. And we had no plans to do anything. My plan was to laminate them so they could survive like the negative 30-degree winters at the cabin and just like leave the cards out there.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart.
So we went out and we played and kind of had a good time with it, like a lot of fun with it. And it was like very straightforward and simple. And even Ward at its beginning, the rules are still the same. Like even that very first day we played, it's still the get your creature into, well, at the time it was 500 into the cemetery, but that took too long. That
Yeah.
was adjusted later, but it was still, you had to get creature health into the cemetery. We're still rolling six-sided fire. everything was still like from day one, the game system has not changed at all. Rules have been created and things have been cleaned up. But yeah, it's at its base. Nothing's changed with Ward in the last since it started. Well,
That is
what
pretty
happened is
cool.
after that, yeah.
Not
So
gonna
after
lie.
that, after that, Tom gives me a call and he's like, "Hey, what was that game we were playing out at the cabin?" And I just kind of told him like, "I don't know, like I don't even have a name for it." And I'm like, "Fantasy
No,
Dungeon Battle."
Yeah,
What's that?
fantasy dungeon battle.
Fantasy Dungeon Battle. Yeah. And it just sounded like
FDB.
yeah.
Right.
So that was like our working title name, and I still have the original files of those original cards under Fantasy Dungeon Battle on my computer.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I still have those. And so eventually Tom had kind of cooked up putting together an LLC, and then that led us to having to, go find an artist because like we just had AI art from like early 2023 on those original cards, which is like the ugliest crap ever. So we had to go find an artist. We had to find someone who can actually manufacture these things. We had to get, tax stuff, and
Yeah.
we had to get all this stuff figured out before we can even sell our first actual pack. And it kind of, I mean, I could go into every aspect of
Yeah.
of the manufacturing process, but I'll just save you the trouble. It was a lot.
It
And it's
sounds
still-
like it.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Well, and the reason that we put an LLC behind it was not because like it was really an intention to sell right away, but after Joe had made these cards, we had so much fun doing it that we had other people, some of our friends that we had told about this, and they're like, "Oh, dude, that sounds really fun. Can I get some of your cards?" And we're like, "No, Joe hand cut those. There's no way we can do that."
That's right.
And so then we were like, okay, well, maybe we should go and get a small print and everyone can go and buy their own cards, like that kind of stuff. So like our first order was 174 packs. It was all hand randomized. Joe's basement. We basically clicked the button and it was like a randomizer. It was press it and you go 47. So you grab card 47 and you put it in the pack. You press it again and you grab number 1 and you grab card number 1 and put it in the pack.
Okay.
And it was
Yeah,
awful.
we did that for 120 packs. We did that, and it took us 6 hours straight.
I was just about
Oh
to
my
ask how
God.
long that took. That's wild.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
We'll never do that. That's the only time we ever did that was with
One
those
time.
packs.
We did it one
Just
time.
those. Fair.
Hey, at least you got that experience under your belt, but that's great. That's wow. Hey,
That
I
is genuinely
appreciate the
insane.
dedication to randomness. No, that is like a pure form of being able to randomly do it.
It
Mhm.
was. And even at the time, those packs themselves were not correctly ratioed. Remember what it was, Tom? It was like 20
Yeah.
creatures and 10 magics. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
wrong ratio. And it was
Yeah, you
after
flipped out.
that we realized that Ward needs more magic in the deck than creatures in the deck. Because at
Yes.
that time, we were playing like 50-50 or even like 20 creatures and 10 magics.
Mhm.
And we're like, no, that's just completely wrong. So that's when we decided to flip the the pack ratios into more magics than creatures, which was absolutely the right way to go.
100%.
Oh, it definitely
yeah.
was. Yes.
Yeah.
With those
Yeah.
80 cards, how long do you know how long it took you to draw them up and like get them stuck together?
Oh, God.
Possibly.
Days to do it. So, okay, so the process would work. I won't say where I was working because I probably shouldn't.
Fair.
But so I would start on the computer with creating the card template, which at the time, I don't know if you guys have ever seen one. I have one here. I can show you the original template.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I haven't, no.
While he's doing that, I'll kind of keep going. But so
Yeah.
he was doing that, and he's back. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
There's no
I
time,
just got it right here.
Fast and the Furious, baby.
right?
I always keep one right on hand until the second I need to find it, apparently.
It's always like that. Anytime you're looking for anything in the house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Send him up.
Never mind. Oh, there he is. Okay. So here's the original. So this didn't change. Ugh. This is a time dragon.
Oh, see that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
this would be
awesome.
this would be Mark Evans did this one. So this isn't even the original like
Okay.
AI stuff. This is when Mark redrew everything. But it's essentially just, I mean, it's 3 boxes and then a red border and then some
Okay.
words in
Yeah.
there. So yeah, with that was the original rendition of the cards, which I don't know. Even looking at that now, it has kind of a charm to it to me.
I like the very first rendition of them because
Yeah.
they're inspired by other, but they're not like
Mhm.
very inspired. Like it's clearly just we took the look of it and we made it kind of our own thing and tried to just do it quickly.
Yeah, and
I like it.
we did have a lot of people that liked that original design, but we got a lot of pushback too, where people said it looks too shoddy, like it was done. I remember I had one guy, he's like, "This looks like it was done in paint," and I'm like, "It was." So that let
Guilty
us,
as charged, man.
Which I mean,
Yeah, so
it's fair to upgrade, but for the
Yeah.
very first rendition of it, I think it's a perfect like origin for it. It's a very
Oh, yeah.
perfect starting point.
yeah. So that's what they looked like right away, and then where Tom, I'm sure he was going with the story was we decided that we needed to see how this worked out in the wild without being our friends playing it. We needed just people that don't know us to try this game out and see. So we went to a little place in Virginia, Minnesota called Runes and Relics. It's just north of like Duluth, Superior area. Um, Went there, held a tournament, had a great turnout actually. What do we have, like 18 people there for our
Yeah.
first tournament?
Wow.
And these
Man.
guys were like, man, we
That's
don't even have
crazy.
18 people for Magic tournaments here. So
I
a
would not
bunch of
expect
guys
it.
came in, they all played it, and it was just astounding. Like everybody was so into the game, and they kept saying they appreciated how straightforward Ward plays. It's like
Mhm.
summon your creatures, power them up, and just roll dice and brawl. Yet somehow there's a ton of strategy still happening.
Yeah.
Where like, and you guys have played enough, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
I'm sure there's many games where you'll look down at the field and notice there's only 2 cards on the entire field, yet you still feel like there's a bazillion things happening all at
Yep.
once in your hand, in what you're planning, in what you think your opponent's about to do. Yet there's only 2 cards on the field,
Mhm.
which is something I've never seen in another TCG. It almost feels like you're playing chess sometimes.
Yeah, it's very similar. I was going to compare it to a mini game of chess at times because
Mhm.
especially the opening when you get that first card, you got your first creature out there, and you're like, all right, what do I need to do first to try to stop them from doing something that's going to stop me from being able to do something?
Mhm.
It's just a whole match already.
Right.
Yeah.
And should I even play this? Because what if they play the specific one card like Hive Lord and they immediately get rid of the magic I played
Yep.
the first turn?
Yep. You
And
play
that's-
kind of conservative. I don't. I'm super aggressive when I play.
Yeah.
See, I'm the complete
will-
opposite. I play extremely conservative, and like you'd compare it against like a blue player in Magic or something like that. I'm very much counters and freezes and stuns and all that stuff. And Joe is equip everything to your biggest creature and just punch you in the head as much as he can.
That's how I am. I also
So-
have some things in there to annoy you because, like, I'm probably not going to win, but I want you to have a hard time against me because I want to struggle a little bit.
Yeah. And Joe's
Yeah.
strategy, it catches a lot of people off guard because they tend to go my way too often, where it's like there's too many little things happening. And then Joe will come out just swinging a baseball bat at your head right out of the gate. And you go on your back foot and you can never recover from it because he keeps killing you so fast that it's like, oh, I'm gonna counterspell that. And it's like, cool, I'm gonna equip 2 more to my guy. And it's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay, that did nothing.
There's a
I've
specific
felt that
deck build I
before.
have where I call it my Dino deck. It all focuses on the
Oh,
and it did
that's
really
great.
well. I brought it to one of the tournaments and took 3rd out of 20.
That's pretty
Um,
good.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And it just catches, like Tom said, it catches people off guard because turn 1, where everybody's playing conservative, I load up I'll throw out 2 Celestial Powers onto my Raptor right away. And then just start punching them. And then they'll play something like they'll play like Twister. And then they're like, "Oh, I destroyed both your Celestial Powers." And then I'm like, "That's cool." And then I put like 2 Creators Gifts on them next. And then just like, because I always do a rule of 2, never too many. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, so I'll get them to blast through all of their like limited cards that usually like they need to destroy all magics on the field. And I get them playing early. However, I will say, it has its flaws for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
It's got its flaws. There's plenty of things that I've lost to with that deck, but it is a very fun one to play because it's so like just like brutal.
That's exactly how I built my
Aggressive.
dinosaur deck. Is just hard. Like I just
Yes.
liked all the dinosaur cards. I was like, oh, I got to get that in there. But Terra Man, of course, he's got to be in there.
Terraman is awesome.
Terra Man
He
is awesome.
He went straight
love
into my
that card.
Dino deck and ended up replacing Oh, who did I replace out of the? I think I actually finally pulled my Rex out.
Yeah,
And I
that's exactly what I did. I had a T-Rex and a Bronto that were kind of my
Mhm.
two hitters, and I swapped the T-Rex for the Terra Man.
Yep, just
Yeah.
because yep, because he just always hits. He
Yeah,
doesn't hit
exactly.
super hard, but he always hits.
But you can
And
always change that with Magic. You can always change it where he hits
then,
incredibly hard and he always hits.
yeah. But then, and this is something people like too is, Ward at its base is like very straightforward. But when you start, like we're talking about, and like Harry on the WWE talks about all the time, is they get so meta with the game that a
Mhm.
lot of people don't realize that a game that's so straightforward can get so meta as well. Where like, for example, my creator deck, I can, even though it requires 3 sacrifices to get out, the way I have that entire deck built is so I can basically stall until I can get him on the field. And then if he's killed, I can get him out again and again, either through playing through Necromancers to drag him back out or using Helping Hands to get really aggressive and get 2 creators on the field.
Hmm.
And just like, yeah, so just like it plays completely wacko. And then Marty likes to play his damage over time deck where he essentially finds ways just to bleed you over and over and over, and it gets quite annoying.
He was telling us about that deck. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
called it
I
his
like
dot
that.
deck, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, damage
Yeah.
over time.
He fought me one time with that deck, and I'd put an old god out on the field, and he was putting out like a dire wolf or something, right? So one of the lowest, I'd say, most garbage cards in the game, and he put that out on me, and he must have done almost 300 damage with his dot on that card.
Good
Mhm.
Lord.
My
He killed that
God.
card 2 times over, and I had to fight him through it. And then I put an epic loot, and back at that time, does it still full heal? Yeah, it still full heals.
Yeah.
But back at that time, it gave 50 extra maximum health.
Mhm.
And so I was at 130. I jumped up to
crazy.
180, and he brought it back down to I think about 40 health before I
Good
finally killed that
Lord.
card. And I eventually won in that situation there because that was the last thing he had. But I'm like, how is this even a challenge? And it was all about blocks, and he would put Loving
Yeah.
God on the field, and he would
Mm.
slow the game down to the point that I couldn't do anything. And I loved that. I loved that scenario. And I like bringing it up because it shows that one of the best cards in the game, especially at the time, you can start losing to something that's you'll get 50 copies of it.
Mhm.
You know,
If played right. Yep,
Yep.
if played right.
Right? Yeah.
so and we do that when we build cards. We try not to build cards that are just fluff. We try to build a card, even in the common and uncommons, that have some upper echelon usage for them. Like in this newest set, the Strange Jewel that came out, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. We put that out there to equip it to a celestial creature to bring out the jewel demigod, right? And it now you have some top tier level deck you can build out of it. Or hopefully there's just some other card in the game that couples and synergizes really well with your favorite card that you like playing, like a kobold or something, and you can make this amazing deck out of it. It might not be a tournament winner every time, but you might win more than 50% of it if you can.
Yep.
Right.
So-
Especially if you use the right card strategies.
Yes.
One of the things that I like doing is I like taking a beaver and putting demonic magic on it and bioregeneration, creator's gift, and dragon power. And I hit for around 60 every time.
With the
And
beaver.
Wild.
Yep.
I hate
damage,
that deck
I don't
so
know how
much.
much, about 50 to 100. It depends.
I hate it. I get so upset getting killed by a beaver every time. Every time.
Beavers for life.
Yeah. Somebody did some weird combo like that with the assassin. Obviously, you lose her effect, but it was something where the assassin got hit down to like 3 health or something. So then they played demonic magic, which got rid of the effects, brought her health down by half, but you round up and ward, so her health only went down by 1, and then now fully healed her back and gave her at least 2 times damage. It was some weird combo that I saw, and I remember that I was looking at it. It was at one of the tournaments, and I'm like doing the math in my head. I'm like, that checks out. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, the order I've noticed the order of operations for things is so clearly very important. I like how you guys kind of distinguish that. It's like, hey, you got to kind of precisely do things if you want to make
Yes.
a weird combo.
So
Mhm.
that's something
Yes.
that Tom has really poked at, and something we cleaned up in the rules a lot. Was the order of operations. If you want to take that away, Tom, 'cause that was all you're doing.
Yeah, it was something that we learned about, I'd say, in our first season, right? The first season of tournaments was really almost I'd call it almost like an alpha or beta launch of the game. It was, it was when we switched from the 500 health down to the 300, and we learned a ton of stuff at that point because up until then, it was just me and Joe and like three other people playing this game because that was our game to play. And we started getting other people included in there. So they started asking all the questions that in my head, I'm like, it's obvious. I know exactly how this works. But they can't read my brain. So we had to start laying it out on paper. And by laying it out on paper, now it starts opening up and I've got to like over explain something because you might have somebody that lives out you know, in Kentucky that has never met us, will never meet us, doesn't jump into the Discord and it has no intent to do that because that's what I was back when I played like card games like that. I wasn't an internet person. I wasn't a Discord person. So I would go and read the rules. And if I didn't have it laid out in the rules well enough, I would have never known. Or I'd make up my own rules for it. And so that's where we try to get into the rules. And that's what we really did with version 2.0 here in this re-release is tried to clean up a ton of that stuff that has just been kind of in a great like limbo for the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
We took notes of like all the questions that were being asked the most,
Yeah.
and not just by like people throughout the Discord, but we would listen to people at conventions. Like we'd have, I don't know, maybe some kids come up and play, and they have a question about how a card is worded and they don't understand it. So we would take stuff like that into consideration as well, or even just some guy who's like, "Hey, I don't play TCGs, but I play a lot of D&D," and then maybe he asks certain questions. So we went back with remastered in the rules, and we're like, okay, here's a card. Like we would come up to I don't know, let's say demonic magic. Um, Here's a card that we get a lot of questions about. How can we reword this now to make this so straightforward and clear that everybody's going to just understand it without having to add in keywords? That's been our key,
Yeah.
is like no
Okay.
keywords in Ward aside words like negate, destroy, stuff like that.
Stuff that
Which
makes
Okay.
are,
Yeah.
sense. You don't want a keyword to be like, for example, just like shoot means something completely different in your game than what you think it
yes.
means normally. But oh, you got
Yep.
to read the keyword list here to know what it does. I
And
like that. That's
no,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
I understand the keyword thing. I do. I get it. It's a space saver on a card is what it is. Because
It
if you
is.
put that one word, there's an entire book behind what that word means. And somebody who plays the game knows that when they just see that one word, this is all the stuff that it does.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
Yeah.
put it on the card. Where we've tried our best to just stay away from that. Just so the average person doesn't have to go read a keyword list. They can essentially just pick up Ward and fumble their way through their first game. Maybe not played 100% right, but they're playing it and
yeah.
they're kind of
Yeah.
grasping how it works.
And they're not really having to ask many questions because everything is written straightforward on the card, like with the way the Akanos, how y'all changed it. So instead of it just saying nothing at the end, like when your Akanos leaves the field, y'all say that all the other Akanos and Harpies
Yes.
return to your hand now.
Yep.
Yes.
For the remaster.
That's a great point you brought up too. That's exactly one that we knew we had to look at and make clear how this works.
Yep.
Are
Yeah,
there
because
some
we had
cards-
that question as well.
Yep. There's cards in Gen 3 that we already know we have to just do a tiny little cleanup. I'm not going to say what they are because we found them, but
Nah.
we ended up finding them, and we look at these cards all day, every day, and we work on Ward. I mean, it's Saturday right now. We're working on Ward right now. It's
Yeah.
a nonstop process, and there are some people that when me and Tom were talking about this, that I think some people get this idea that we just like roll out of bed and go, "Hey, let's just do this today," without even thinking about it. But there's a lot of thought that goes into almost everything we do with Ward. For example, here's a fun hint to those who might be going to the Ward Bowl. We plan on doing something like we did last year, where we have a one of one card that you give to the
Oh.
champion.
Okay,
Yes,
I
we did
like
that
that.
last year.
Yeah,
The
I
one
heard
of one
about
card
that.
to the champion. Well, when it comes to that card, it's not simply just slap something on there and then send it to print. It's make the card, we send it in our group, we all look at it, decide if it's something we like, and then we all discuss, kind of work out in our heads, like, hey, is this something you could break? And then, 2 days later, now the card maybe has been actually approved, and we're gonna run with it. So
Okay.
these
Okay, that's cool.
that's just an example. But usually,
most card ideas when they're made are not the final result. Like
no.
when we did the closed play testing with the 150 group for Gen 3 a few months back, we preempted the entire group that, hey, these are in progress works, and we gave an example of Gen 2 and how over 60% of the cards changed from the closed play testing to the final release.
Okay.
So even by the time we get to them, we've already changed these things up 6 times getting into there. And then after that, we take the notes from them and make our alterations to try to prevent future issues if we can. So some people might fall in love with something at that point, but it's like we tried to not get them to fall in love with stuff at that point, because we're like, these are likely going to change in some way.
Yeah.
So
and that's something
get
that's
that.
something we've had to do. As much as I love all the cards, especially Gen 1, because those are the first ones I made, we had to really learn as a business to not get attached to cards and the way they work, because it leads to problems. And that happened early on. We're like, hey, I want this card and I want it to work this way. It has to work this way. And for example, there's 100 cards that we had to boot out of Gen 3. And there'd be one that I'm like, I really like this card. And Tom's like, hey, it's just not going to work. And with Gen 3, it was easier. Like, we just knew this was reality. With Gen 2, it was different. Like, oh, no, that card has to stay. And so, you just can't get attached to them. There's still some out there that maybe they'll slide into Gen 4 or make their way into like a boss deck or something.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you guys a hint of this. There's a set of cards. There's 3 of them, and they work together. And they have been booted out of Gen 2 and Gen 3 now. And I have them in my Gen 4 folder as card ideas, and maybe they'll make it in.
Dang.
We'll see.
I'm just
holding
on to it. Like every time we get there, we'll start going through our card list. It'll be like 600 card ideas, and me and Joe will sit on like a call like this, and we'll start paring them down into what kind of cards we need. Do we need more magics? Do we need more creatures? And those ones have gotten booted out a couple times. And Joe's like, "No, we can't do those." And I'm like, "I'm just gonna drop them right here in Gen 4. Maybe he'll agree with me later on."
Yeah.
And if not, hey, Gen 5, Gen 6.
Right?
Exactly. Just keep coming out. We had somebody asking us, like, when is Gen 4 releasing? I'm like, dude, we just released Gen
That's
4.
crazy.
Oh, really?
Came out.
Wow.
It was like the
That's
day
awesome.
after it released. And he's serious.
Give
Like,
it
just
give it
came
like
out.
a year at least. Like, give it time for everybody to look at the cards and get a hold of them.
At
and
least
everything.
play them.
Like, good lord.
Right? So we but yeah, and I know the community has said that they've kind of enjoyed our kind of longer release window. We're going to try to shorten that up a little bit here. Now that we have things a little bit better streamlined, but we never want to get to the point that we're pulling the Magic or even like Pokemon thing, where it's like every 3 months there's a new set of 1,000 cards and you have to go get them if you want to play competitively. We've talked to the Wizards of the Coast folks out there. I know why they do it. I don't think it's they would do it, but we don't want to do that ourselves, is because I really liked what happened with Gen 2, where we had about like 3 or 4 months where it was only Gen 2. We didn't even have Gen 1 second edition yet. So people were playing with just Gen 2, and they got a really good feel for the entire set. And then when we brought Gen 1 back into the set, it just led to all these things because people knew how Gen 1 worked. And now they've got Gen 2, which they've learned really well. And we're kind of hoping that for Gen 3 here, that they get a good solid couple months of playing with it. Well, now let's be real. Well, Gen 1 and 2 will be back sooner than we think with the remastered. But I don't have a date for that, so I'm not going to get into that yet.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. But by the Ward Bowl, hopefully about at I'm sure Tom will agree, hopefully at least a month before the Ward Bowl, if not more, we essentially have mixed tournaments of all 3 generations happening.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because prior to the Ward Bowl, we want to get an updated limited list a month ahead of time of the things we've learned, because I'm sure there's going to be something in Gen 3 we missed. There's
You
150
can't you
cards.
can't play test everything all the
Yeah.
time. It's just a
Oh,
small team. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's stuff. We
Right.
had about 20 people play testing, but there's still stuff they'll miss because
mhm.
as fun as play testing is, we did notice that we were play testing too, and we were grabbing every card we could. But obviously people kind of came in and they had these like ideas of like decks they wanted to build because it's their first chance to get a hold of it, and they're just basically playing and having fun, which is fine. That's great. But play testing is like we need you to try to find things that are broken. Like that's what
Yeah.
we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Try and break our game so that we know how to fix it.
exactly. That was we had posted that so many times, like come break the game. Find something that breaks it. Like don't leave without finding something broken. And there was a lot. There was definitely a
There
lot.
were. Yeah, they definitely came in and they did what we asked for. They had fun, which was one of the asks.
Mhm.
It's a benefit that these closed door events can happen for these 150 groups. But they came in with the intent of trying to break it, and a couple of them did. And it was great because
Mhm.
it helps the health of the game overall. So, at this point right now, when we're filming this, we don't have something broken out in the world that now it needs to either get limited or banned or anything like that. Because we don't want any cards limited or banned. That's our goal. We don't
Yeah.
build a card to put on the list. It only goes on the list because it causes problems in the game.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you don't want to make a card for just be like, nope, you can't use it ever. You can only use it at home with your friends, potentially.
Right. Like the way that Magic has gone about it with that.
It's
Black
funny.
Lotus, just no. Just no.
Yeah. No Black Lotus.
No.
Yeah,
Yep.
Magic barely lets you play with anything from 3 sets earlier.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like I'm not much of a Magic guy, but Steven's told me about some of it, and it's just
Definitely
That's
true.
always one of the things with Magic, and we hear that from Magic players all the time, is that like they want to get into it, but it's got to be the current set that they're playing. A lot of LGSs they get free stuff from Wizards to host these types of tournaments, so they have to abide by their rules. So then these guys come like, "Hey, I bought these last year. I got a cool deck." They're like, "Ooh, can't use that. You got to buy more now, buddy."
Mhm.
So we've always tried to go against that. We even did it with first edition Gen 2 and Gen 1 second edition. Probably the ones that people have the most of. You can still use those, even with Ward Remastered. You can still use them. You just got to play into the current version. That's it.
Okay.
Yep. Simple
Yeah,
as
that's
that.
what I
You can
thought.
use your cards. Yeah.
that's 100% fair. That's perfect because you don't want anybody to feel invalidated for the cards they purchased before because they're not going to be willing to purchase more.
Yep.
Because
And we
what if
did
it
it a lot.
changes again?
Yeah, a lot of people were asking us that too. It was at one of our not recent, because me and Tom unfortunately haven't been to a tournament like to host one in a while, which we definitely got to do. But they were like, "Oh, am I gonna have to buy all new stuff again? Because I spent a lot on this." And I said, "Of course not. Like, you can if you want to, but you still have these cards. Come play with them."
Fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
hmm
I like that. I wanted to ask a question. What is
Sure.
y'all's favorite Magic card?
It
I
would
got
be
this one.
of the Magics.
I'll take this, Joe.
Sure, you
Mhm.
go ahead.
So I still got to go back to Gen 1. And
We'll
it's
open
Okay.
the book and find out.
it's gonna be,
I love how he holds it like a scroll. He
There's
just-
a lot.
right.
Hang on.
It's gonna be the
My
Fear
wizarding
Magic
power.
card,
Yeah.
Fear. Fear is my favorite one.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fear's a
Fear's
good
good.
one.
love the card. It doesn't get a lot of love in there. And I don't understand why, because it's a permanent equip that makes them only be able to hit you half the time on
Mhm.
top of what if they regularly miss. So there's a lot of times that, like, if I put that on like Terraman or something like that, I don't care. Terraman now is not a guaranteed hit anymore.
Yeah, it forces an extra roll on them. Yeah, that one is baffling to me that it's not used more too, actually.
Yep. And
Okay.
if you couple that with things like the Ranger, because the Ranger requires you to roll prior to battle, and then Fear makes you roll in battle, and now they have to try to roll to beat your armor. So you're stacking layers of defense over yourself that
Yeah.
it's irrelevant if they're trying to hit you or not.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's smart. I
That is
like
really
that.
smart.
I
Yeah.
haven't been able to play with it much because I don't own a copy. I know
No.
friends who do play with it though, and they always use it on my
Yeah.
strongest creatures.
Oh,
Well,
Wait
yeah,
till
if you want
remastered
Beavers.
comes out. You'll be able to get one when
exactly what I would do
remastered's
it.
out.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh
you'll
yeah,
be able to
I'm
get
definitely
one.
gonna buy more for
Um,
sure.
when it
mine.
comes to the go ahead.
But no, that's okay. I'll answer mine after.
When it comes to like the themes for the drops, like I know this one's the world of the orcs and everything. How do you guys go about choosing that?
So that actually comes from the story, which we've definitely slacked on for World of the Orcs, but it's essentially done.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's just some fine tuning that we have to do because when we write the story, all the flavor text on the creatures has to fit too.
Yeah.
We have to be careful with
Yes.
like every bit of flavor text has
Yep.
So the way we come up with the story is I always liked me and Tom always liked a mixture of Marvel's story because Tom used to have the Marvel Encyclopedia and would read it when we were working at
Yeah.
Lowe's and looking out your car. Remember that?
That's
Yeah, on his lunch
awesome.
break, he'd
Lunch
read
break
that.
every
So
day. Go out there and read this book. Just
he'd come in and be like, "Hey, have you ever heard of a Molecule Man?" And I'm like, "No, I have not. Tell me all about him, Tom."
yeah,
So,
right.
but since then, I actually have my own copy and I've read through dang near the whole thing because it's kind of cool. But we base a lot of it on
Awesome.
Kind of like the way Marvel does their story, starting from the creation of the universe and like cosmic beings. And
Okay.
then we also have a lot of Warcraft
Yeah.
inspiration that comes out of it.
Mhm.
Basically, it's just and Warhammer. It's just a world that's just always at war, like nonstop. So the way we did the story for Gen 1, we knew the story needed to cover like a vast base of like this is what the game is, here's a history behind it, here's why you are fighting as the warlord. This is what you're doing.
Okay.
Um for
Okay.
Gen 2, we always knew that we wanted to do something undead related, something kind of like a mixture of like the Darth Vader and or the Anakin Skywalker and Arthas story. What's that called again? There's an actual word for it. The hero, not the hero's journey. It's the I'll think of it at some point. But there's an actual word for a hero that falls and becomes the villain that they were trying to fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we always knew we wanted to do a story like that. Um, and then
Okay.
for World of the Orcs, we wanted to bring something a little bit more grounded and like warlike, where like the undead was just like clearly just an apocalyptic type thing. And the
Yeah.
story for World of the Orcs, which I can get into a little bit because we are going to try to get it out at least in text to start before it's in any type of animated video or anything.
Okay.
Uh, it's essentially so I don't know how much you know about the story,
So
but
to prepare for the interview with Marty, I actually went on the YouTube and watched all of the lore videos that you guys have
Oh, nice.
thank
on
God
there.
somebody did.
Yeah,
We
because
worked hard on
I
that.
want to do some research and everything. I want to be able to ask some questions
Yeah.
and everything. So I do know a decent little amount. Like I picked
Yeah.
up enough from it.
So
I ended up
the way the undead invasion went is we always knew we wanted to have, like I said, the Arthas story with a little mixture of like Terminator in there, right?
Yeah,
Because there's
I've
time
noticed
travel.
that. I've noticed that with the Future Soldier and
Yep,
everything.
with Future Soldier coming back and then at the end we wanted to throw this weird, crazy twist into the story that like just goes way outside of what fantasy games usually have. So that's where we Tom came up with this idea is having the undead king instead of a typical like final battle. You ever played Dark Souls 2?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Yes.
So in Dark Souls 2, you go and fight King Vendrick, and about half the game at that point leads up to this guy, and you're expecting this huge fight. But when you get there, he's like withered and
He's
like
he's
zombified. He doesn't even
emaciated,
like he's not even
decrepit. Yeah.
yeah. You don't even he doesn't even
okay.
know he's a king. So we always thought it'd be interesting to have that kind of story. Like they go in for the final battle, but this guy is so depleted from millennia of like necromantic powers flowing through him and slowly just draining him that he essentially is just like nothing anymore. He's
Well,
just like he
and it
doesn't have
comes
a brain even.
and it comes back to that same story of, and the reason he's so emaciated is because he's actually the good guy in this story. He didn't become the bad guy. right?
Good
Guy, right?
guy.
You can be a
Yeah,
bad
he killed a
guy,
lot
but
of
you don't
people.
have to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Good
but
reference.
but yeah, so he's so emaciated at the end of this thing is because he's been trying to fight against like a greater evil, and the way he thought himself was able to solve the greater evil of these like old ones and like the old god and these ancient cosmic beings that are trying to like basically destroy Ward constantly, is he was like, I can do this myself, but I'm gonna make an undead army doing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so
essentially, like the
yeah,
story
Kind of like a
was
Doctor Doom-ish shit. A little
Yeah.
kind of,
Doctor
yeah. So
Doom-ish.
basically, it was in simple terms, the old ones were feeding off the recycled souls, which this is actually a conspiracy theory out there that exists right now. So who knows what's
Oh,
really going on? But
oh,
yeah, so but there's something
allegedly.
that we named the soul sphere that's up on Ward's moon, and when a being dies, instead of them being able to either ascend up into heaven or down into hell, their soul cycles into the sphere and is forced back down to Ward and into the next body that the soul can go
Okay.
into. And Ward is kept in a
Oh.
constant state of turmoil because the old ones feed on fear, anguish, pain. So they can just keep these souls cycling. They can never go into heaven or hell. And so that pisses off demons too. But the undead king figured this out and was going to
Oh.
essentially do like a hard reset. If he could just basically kill everybody, turn them all into undead, which Tom had already written into the story that I remembered, that undead steal the souls out of hell and heaven, he would essentially be keeping the souls for himself, thus starving the old ones. And then once the old ones starve and finally wither and die, he
Yep.
can restart the planet.
yeah, because they're
Okay.
essentially immortal if they can keep eating. So he was trying to starve them to death and reset the world without them in it.
That
Okay,
makes
that's
sense.
smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way the world of the orcs leads in is it might sound like it's a very, very straightforward story. But the way it kind of kicks off is um the so hell is pissed off because they're not getting any souls down there. And the orcs are actually getting upset because their heaven is actually hell in Ward because it's all pain and violence and stuff. So for an orc,
That makes sense for an orc.
They
Yeah,
like-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep,
I
so
love
they
that. I
they
like that.
So what happens is the Demon King from Gen 1 disguises himself, comes to one of the orc clans, the Cabal, which is actually secretly still under control of, I think it's the Forgotten One, who's secret of the Ancient One, who's
Ancient One.
controlling them. And he basically offers them a deal to essentially give them their champion, the purple-skinned orc, the Cabal war chief, essentially, who will be strong enough to free them and then thus get them back into hell. But they have to sell their souls to this guy. So he basically owns the orcs. And that's something we kind of borrowed a little bit from Warcraft as well, with Gul'dan, the demons, and orc clans, in a way. But then it gets really twisted. So the way the Cabal war chief is actually created by the Demon King by luring the cosmic demon back into hell, trapping his soul into a strange jewel, and then using that strange jewel on the what's the word for it? The one of the orc children or one of the orc mothers. And thus
Okay.
the purpose. So because the cosmic demon is all about destruction in the and him fusing into an orc body is like the perfect mix of exactly what that would be for a vessel for him. It's just violence and anger. So
Right.
that this
Okay.
creates the Cabal War Chief. So if you're wondering, the Cabal War Chief is actually secretly like the cosmic demon
Okay.
inside of it.
That's awesome.
That actually
Yeah,
bleeds
so-
into my
and there's
next
so much
question.
more. Part of our story, they end up in space and they're fighting on moons, and it's wild. Gen 3 is fun. I can't wait till we finally get
That
it. Like,
explains why he's purple.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually bleeds into my next question of like, how do you guys come up with some of the creature concepts? Obviously, some of them are inspired by other media, and clearly, you guys have a story planned out for some of them. But there's some
Yeah.
other ones that are like, how did you guys come up with those ideas?
Yeah, like
So-
monkey duck.
Okay, so
Monkey Duck.
I love Monkey Duck.
Quack, quack, quack.
So I definitely came up with Monkey Duck. And
Oh,
it was
nice.
at a point where we were like, Gen 3 at one point was just like way too serious.
It feels like if you were describing it like a very serious starting point is like it's gotta be very heavy and serious.
Yep, it
Yeah.
was like way too serious. And I told Tom, I'm like, we need something just weird. We did have Gnome Theon, and he's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm like, we just like need something just like wild. Like, and we've done this a couple times where we mix two different animals together. So we decided a monkey duck. And then when it came to he used to have a different effect. I don't remember what it was, but we decided to like give him like kind of a weird troll effect that you can just
Yeah,
screw with your opponent.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love see, I do like that you guys aren't
Uh.
afraid to just throw in a random mechanic in the set to see if this works. And if it don't, we'll never do it again. But if you
Well,
guys
and we've
like
always
it,
been, yeah, and we've always been kind of fourth wall breaking with stuff too. Well, no, I'm sorry, not fourth wall breaking, wrong word. Where we like to use the other aspects of the card, for example, the art.
that is one of my
Mm.
favorite parts that the art on the cards matter. Like you have to pay
Yeah.
attention to what you put in there sometimes because you may not
Yes.
notice it, and then boom, you get 3 times damage dealt to you because you're near water or you're in a forest or
You're on fire.
Yeah. And then you get a card like Electroloon, and you're like, does he have wings?
I think so.
No, those are just arms, long arms.
Yeah, he does not have
Fingers.
wings. They're claws.
Salad
Dang.
fingers.
Oh no!
Oh,
Ew.
Was that his inspiration? Oh dear God.
Me and Tom definitely come up with cards like completely opposite. So, Tom, you usually start with an effect that you like, and then
Yep.
you find the art to go with it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Or
okay.
whatever makes sense. I tend to find a creature or something I like from like media or something like that, and I try to find an effect that will fit into this creature or whatever it may be. Try to look at Gen 3. I got it next to me here as like an example. Apparently the page I'm on is all Tom cards.
Yeah.
Oh, so
played.
yeah, so Last Hope Hero. I was watching My Hero Academia with my daughter, and there was a point where I don't know if you've ever seen that, but there was a
Yeah.
point where Izuku is about to go down, or Deku is about to go down, but he gets like one last big hit on this guy before he finally faints. And he doesn't win, but he takes a big chunk out. So I remember seeing that and I'm like, dang, that would be like such a fun way to make a card. So I came up with Last Hope Hero that you can essentially only play when your creature dies, but you get to like roll your attack damage and it's treated as a critical hit. So it's like, oh, I'm dead, but here's one last hit before I go out the door. type of
Okay.
thing.
I see.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like that
that.
card.
So
That'd
that's
be
how my
cool.
brain works when I make these. That's a little different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And like Joe said, I kind of go the other way. I just sit there and I kind of like randomly will come up with different effects. Sometimes it's me intentionally trying to figure out an effect that the game is missing that it could use, or it might be honestly going to Google and looking up homebrew D&D items,
Mhm.
right? And go, what is this effect? And could I put it in Ward? Like,
Mhm.
so and a lot of times it doesn't work because it's like, oh, your character can make it rain once a day, with a cooldown. Then I'm like, well, I don't know how to put that into the game, but next.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
we could
Yeah.
make it. We could make it so your character can force your opponent to be in or near water.
I was literally
I was
just
about to
thinking the
say
same
that,
thing.
yeah.
Think it force them to be in or
Gen
near
5.
water.
Your water.
No, Gen
Hold
4.
on.
Gen
Let
4.
me just go.
Or
let me go
you
to my
create
notes.
a thunderstorm, and now the battle is a thunderstorm, and
You
now
just
you have
write
a
that down
card.
quick. It's Gen 4.
Let me just write this down, you guys.
Write that down quick. There we go. On our podcast, we came up with it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we thought about a few cards like that. One of the cards that I thought about was like with the FEV virus for Fallout,
Mhm.
where there would be one for the turning humans into orcs, and it would be
Oh.
FOV,
Yep.
Oh,
forced orc virus. I thought that would be a fun one.
So this is why we do have our card ideas section, is because
Yeah.
sometimes people do come up with ideas that are it's not our own heads. Me and Tom talk to each other all the time, and so same with Marty and John and Q, that we all tend to like our brains are blending together with the same like card ideas. So it's nice to hear people outside of us that come up with something and we're like, dang, that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
We can give a shout to Alec Kermit for essentially giving the first rendition of Bramblefield.
Bramblefield, yep.
Oh,
That was we obviously had to change some things and adjust it essentially, but yeah,
Mhm.
mostly the concept is still pretty much an idea he had thought up a while ago.
Okay.
And it's definitely inspiration. I follow those
Inspiration for
all
sure.
the time.
Yeah, we change a
That
lot.
I'm like, I love
fair.
it's either I love that idea or I'm reading it and it goes, well, what if I did it like this? And it completely leads to another whole different
Yes.
thing. The art's different, everything, but it's inspired or the original like grain of the idea came from that.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
and that's where I love doing it, putting essentially our fans into the game by putting some of their ideas into the game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's something
That's
that's
really
something we
cool.
still do with the lore too. And I'm sure I think I showed you that part, Tom, but we always make sure that certain people with certain aspects of the community end up in the lore somehow.
Okay,
One of them,
that's
we
really
give a
cool.
shout out to Tyler Magnuson, who was the one who discovered the Maniac deck. And we wrote that into the Gen 3 story. That little aspect, that little story is in there somehow.
Okay.
I think it was something like he's a necromantic mailman. Like, it's something like that because his name is like not your mailman on Discord.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
we
awesome.
wrote that in.
I like
yeah.
that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That actually bleeds into another question I have. Are there any other like Easter eggs or funny things like that you guys added to cards that people just haven't found yet?
Mhm.
Because I know with Gen 3 it's still kind of new, but even in the older gens, is there something that you guys put in that nobody's
Yeah,
just
so
paid
there's
attention
definitely
to?
I actually have our Gen 3 stuff in front of me because I knew we were going to be talking about Gen 3. Some
Good job.
Easter eggs that I'd say
Yep.
are less obvious than
Yeah.
others would be so like one like Biodino. Biodino is clearly inspired by like Venom.
Yeah.
But obviously he's like got the dinosaur snout and the tail and everything.
He
Mhm.
also kind of looks like the ooze with the dinosaur kind of mid transformation in the old Mario movie from the 90s. The live
Oh my
action
God,
Mario
you're
movie. He kind
You're
of looks
right.
like that mid transformation point.
He
Yeah.
does. Oh, weird. But
Hmm.
here's some
I thought you were
small
going to
ones that
say
people
Ivan
don't.
Ooze from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That kind of
Ooze.
too. That too.
Yes. Oh man.
Like another one would be Streetlights. The card Streetlights that gets rid of limited summons. That was
Yeah.
Marty, and he wanted the art to be from Back to the Future. So we actually got a hold of
Oh.
Fabricio, our artist, and the clock tower says 10:04 p.m. right when the lightning strikes the clock tower in 1955.
Oh, I never paid
okay.
attention to that.
So
That is
there's ones that-
awesome.
Yeah, so there's ones that are obvious and ones that are really, really subtle in there
I
too.
feel so dumb. That's why he was mentioning in the last video about the Easter egg and streetlights. I was like, I don't understand.
Oh, he's got to learn to explain
Okay.
himself.
Like another one here that nobody would ever know unless they know me, right? Is if you look at the card A Friend Like You, right? The guy in there has a bald head with a goatee,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my
So
cool,
it's supposed to be Tom.
but I have a Dalmatian as a dog,
Mhm.
and so that's supposed to be like my buddy, like my dog is
Oh.
in there.
That's
And-
really cool.
And the idea is the card itself is actually the dog. It's not the guy, it's the dog.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
then
okay.
so it's the effect is if you kill the card, the creator's coming out on the field, and which is supposed to say, "Don't kill my dog because I'm going to come on the field and I'm going to hurt you."
That's fair. Don't mess with my dog,
Don't
man.
touch my
Come
dog.
on.
Don't touch
touch
my
my
dog.
What movie is that from? You kicked my dog?
Yeah, right.
I don't remember what it was.
Oh
And
man.
then we did the same thing with ours too. We put our dog into the game. The good boy is my black
Okay.
Lab.
Okay,
Yep.
nice.
But God, I'm looking at this, Tom, and there are Easter eggs all over everything. Oh, so here's a fun one.
Everything.
The Iron Man, which is actually when we were asking what your favorite magic was, which I know we got sidetracked. I was gonna pick that one.
Okay.
The Iron Man is based off a big statue that's in Chisholm, Minnesota, up in northern Minnesota, like almost by Canada. And it's because it's in a place called the Iron Range, where like all the metal and ore from the United States comes from. If it's not coming from China, it's coming from here.
Okay.
Oh.
And there's a big statue of literally that Iron Man that's sitting right outside town. So when you come into town, there's this 50-foot statue out there that you see every time you come
I think
in.
it's the
Okay.
third largest freestanding statue. That's what
Wow.
it is.
Wow.
It's-
They
it's
always
something like
boast
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the town has.
They'll say it's the biggest.
Dang,
Yeah.
so you guys literally find inspiration
Just above average.
just driving around town looking at stuff. Like that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Absolutely. Like
So-
slide stuff from like
Yeah.
home in there too. The old logging road, like literally where our cabin is, there's like old logging roads, and logging is a big part of that area of Minnesota. So like that'd be kind of cool to put in there, like the
Yeah.
old logging road.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Joe, give them a Eagle family.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if I know that one we've talked about a little bit, but have you either of you pulled Eagle Family yet?
We haven't, no.
No.
So
Our buddy
Eagle
Peyton
Family-
has it though.
Yeah. This guy right here, Eagle Family, is the
Yeah.
secret card, the 151 of 150. And that's actually painted by our dad in 1987.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That is so cool.
yeah,
I
so
really do love the artwork on that one. I thought
Yeah,
it was so well done.
he doesn't think he's very good. He was a little hesitant right away, but this was a piece of art that he had sitting at our house in around the Minneapolis area, because that's where me and Tom actually grew up for just years, and eventually got to a point that like I remember we needed a secret card, and we thought it would be cool to take Dad's art and put it in there because he's not an artist at all. He used to paint back in the 80s a little bit, and
Just
then
for
just
fun.
kind of like didn't. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Just a
we
little side
decided to
hobby.
slide his art.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yep. So that's definitely one of them. But my favorite card right now
Mhm.
in the entire game is Witch's Cabin.
yeah, see,
Witch's
Witch's
Cabin?
Cabin's awesome.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just so
I can agree with that.
it's like the funnest card in the game right now that you just mess with people.
I've had so much fun with that. I've never been able to get the combo out with inversion though. I still haven't been able to do it. They always negate that.
Right.
Like, fine, I'll still Witch's Cabin you, but whatever.
Yep, I just like the idea of, so somebody had pointed out that Witch's
like
Cabin
art.
is essentially like it's
Collects
essentially
kids like
kind of a
TCGs.
pointless card because you're essentially
no way.
That's
I-
crazy. That's
you're trading
crazy.
a card in
Put on
your
that
hand
point.
for one in their hand. You're both essentially dumping a card at the same time if
Yes.
you think about it.
But do you know how
But-
annoying it is when you pull that card and you're like, oh yes, and then someone's like, nah, nope.
No, no,
Yep.
no.
What
So
I always
I've
say
used
is-
it a lot.
I always say
It's
it's
still
a gambler's card. It's a
Mhm.
gambler's
It's a
card.
gambling
So I
card,
look
yep.
in your eyes, and if you get excited, I'm playing that card because
Mhm.
you just pulled the card that I think you need, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And if you play with inversion, you know they pulled the card they need.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. And with inversion out, you can see the card they pull and the next card that's sitting there too. So you have like two of them you can see that's coming up. So I've never done the inversion thing. I've heard of it, people trying to do it. I should definitely make a deck around that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten it to come out yet. It's in my Jester deck now, my most annoying deck.
Oh God, that deck.
Suicide Bombers and Apocalypse, baby. Let's go.
Yep, I made a deck just like that. I didn't win a lot of games with it, but it was really fun to play.
Oh, yeah. I never win many games, but yes, I agree with you 100%.
You could just
Best games of my life.
I made a deck and I played against Billy Who's from the Discord,
Okay.
and we were playing each other at one of the local tournaments. We were both out. We got beat out of the tournament. We are just having fun playing. And
Oh, yeah. He's like one of the top 3 guys still.
yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's number 1 right now, Billy is.
Oh,
I
awesome.
didn't realize that. That's awesome.
We,
Hell
we
yeah.
just released the updated rankings today. Everything should be fully up to date, and we put the Ward Bowl bracket out today too.
Oh, I
that-
wonder if Matt's still in the top 10, Steven.
At
Oh, that's a good question.
Matt Litchell.
Literally, yeah. But-
Mitchell.
Litchell.
Litchell. Let me look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up really fast.
He's the buddy who got us introduced into Ward.
Oh,
He-
nice.
Yeah, he bought it like super early. It's like as soon as he could get his
Gen 1
hands on
edition
something.
1 cards.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like super early. He
Mhm.
bought it, never could find anyone. Like only bought one pack, never had enough to make a deck or
He,
anything, or make 2
Matt-
decks with.
Mhm.
Yeah, Matt is sitting at number 8 on the War and Honor right now at
Heck
6 and
yeah.
2. Yep. So if the Ward
Shout out
Bowl
to Matt.
ended- yeah, so if the Ward Bowl started today, let me look at the bracket. Let's see, where did I put my bracket?
So he would play what, number 2?
So it doesn't work 100% like that because it's not an
Oh.
even bracket, but it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
close.
you're right. I think you need what, 24 to do that?
Matt Matt L, where are you? Who would you have to rumble with round one if it ended today?
That's a good question.
He would go against Tyler.
Ooh.
Oh,
not that Tyler, a different Tyler.
Okay.
okay.
Tyler W, who is, let me see here. Tyler W.
Is that the other Tyler we know with the perfect shark deck?
Maybe Tyler Wiley.
Yep, Tyler Wiley. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Him and Tyler-
he's
Yep,
played
they'd have-
Tyler before.
Yeah,
so
he
Tyler's sitting at 9 and
Nice.
5, and him and the way the seedings work out, him and Matt would have to rumble right round one.
Oh, they could do
Oh,
that
that's
in
pretty
person
cool.
Yep.
today.
And it's
Yeah,
a
they
big
could.
match too. So because they're so low on the War and Honor category, they'd have to do a pigtail match just to get into the actual bracket.
Oh, yep.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
So that's how they're seeded so heavily. That's why you want to have those high seedings.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
which leads into a great point, though, of talking about some of this stuff is because that pigtail match exists this year in the post that we put out, we're including a pack crack tournament at the invite only Ward Bowl.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
anybody
awesome.
anybody that comes can sign up for this pack crack event, and anybody in the tournament, as they lose, they can choose to slide into that pack crack tournament in like the 5th round if they were in like the 5th round of the invite only tournament. So the only people that won't be able to actually participate are your first and second place people, because at that time is when the championship of both tournaments will be happening.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like
Very
that. That's really
interesting.
cool.
So if if you guys had a friend or one of you guys made it, but the other person didn't, and you're like, oh, well, let's all go to this thing together, because at least now the people that aren't on that list, they can still play. They can still play in this pack crack tournament, and we're gonna have one-of-one prizes for that side of the bracket too.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some good prizes for those people as well there. So it's not gonna just be a I just go, I'll have fun. Be like, you can have fun, but there's gonna be some good prizes at the top end of that bracket as well.
And give
Okay,
and just
that's awesome.
general giveaways too with raffling and stuff.
Yep.
We like for
Mhm.
example, last year we gave out a sealed Gen 1 first edition original owl pack.
Ooh.
Oh.
It would have been the ones that me and Tom were hand packing. So we had one of those
Yeah.
left over. We gave it out.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
We've got other fun stuff like that too, uncut sheets and extra packs, and I mean there's stuff to give out that people will want to go to these.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So I want to bring it back to the cards real quick. Have you
Yeah.
guys had to change any cards due to any copyright issues or any threats of anything yet? Have you not run into that yet?
No,
That's awesome.
We always consult our
surprised.
attorneys. We
That's
consult
awesome,
our
though.
attorneys prior to everything. And it's actually, unless you are like specifically, unless you took the actual art and the concept of a certain character of an IP and put it onto yours, you're pretty much 100% safe.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
we don't want to copy and paste some other IP.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
want to be inspired by with some of this stuff, but also having a lot of our own unique stuff in the game, right? You know,
Mhm.
there's a couple of them from Gen 2 and Gen 3 here that you look at it and you go, that looks a lot like X.
Mhm.
Yes.
But we, with our artist, if he comes back and if it's too close, we go, no. I want you to put some more flair on it. Add this, change that, do something. We don't want it to be that. We want it to be our thing that just reminds you of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just surprised you haven't had Nintendo knocking on your door for making anything that vaguely looks like it could be a Pokemon.
I was about to
You know
say.
what? I think Nintendo gave up because
They lost the
freaking
Power World.
Power
yeah,
World.
like
Oh,
They
yeah.
gave up. Power
I
World
forgot
won
about
they
Pokemon
won
with guns.
every lawsuit that Nintendo threw at them, and
No, they won one. They won one, and it was the concept of throwing a ball to release a creature.
yes,
oh,
that was the only
good
thing they had
Lord.
to change.
I'm playing
they had to
Power World
change
right
that.
now,
But
and so
everything
the
else,
update they have in the game is when you throw a sphere now in Power World, you don't throw it. You make the animation, and then it just pops out.
so yeah, it's pretty much essentially what it is. That's the only thing they had to change. But like all of the creatures and stuff they have in there,
Awesome.
golden.
That's
And I
all.
know
Yeah,
it's
I haven't
hilarious.
seen.
And because they won this, I honestly think these guys are just trolling Pokemon at this point.
Oh,
Because now they're making a TCG, and I
Yep.
saw the cards they had. Their TCG was at Gamma. They had a
That's
small over there. They're showing them off, and
I was
Okay.
talking to him. Yeah,
their cards look so much like Pokemon.
dude, it's
And
wild.
it's just
It's so
they're just at this point they're just screwing with them.
Oh, that's
The bad
hilarious.
thing is I'd buy them because they're holding guns. It's
Yeah.
Pokemon with guns.
Pikachu with
So
a Gatling gun out there. Just
So I don't, if you guys haven't played Power
Charizard
World,
with the rocket
I've played
launcher.
it. Yeah, I like it a lot.
so Power World, people they should actually worry about, which there'd be no base for this either, would actually be Arc, Wildcard Studios, because Power World actually plays exactly like Arc Survival Evolved does.
No, you're
Essentially
right.
everything, like the exact same. Like when me and Tom were playing, we're like, this doesn't feel like Pokemon at all. This feels like Arc. The
Yeah.
only
You're
thing
right, it does.
Pokemon is, like
Yeah.
they kind of look like Pokemon.
And if
Mhm.
the art people are listening, you need to make auto grinding in your game.
Please,
Like how-
I don't wanna
Right.
chop wood.
Right?
No
God,
one
that
wants to
would
chop wood.
save
all
us
day.
on dinosaurs, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if you
real.
guys played Arc at all, but
Like my
Arc is
seasonal
I played it a bit. I played
It's-
it a bit.
it's
I played
chores
a
the video
lot.
game.
Yes, 100%. Which is
Yeah.
why Power Worlds is better because it's just Arc, but with Pokemon with guns instead of the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Pokemon, slave Pokemon. Yeah.
That
But,
brings me to another question. Has anybody offered to buy your guys' IP yet?
We
Ooh.
can't talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I
Nah.
figured.
That part we
Okay.
can.
Fair
There's
enough.
things, but we can't talk about that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I had another question. With
Mm-hmm.
the name Ward, did y'all mean to make it draw backwards? Just draw spelled
No,
backwards?
actually. That was brought to our attention a while ago that it's draw backwards. The way Ward came up is there was a couple things we wanted. We always liked that big fat W that Warcraft has, right? Like
Yeah.
just need the W
Oh,
That
and
is
it
very
just
nice.
show what it is. So we're like, and we need something that is just one word and it's super easy. Like, you have all these things like what was the one, Tom? Like there was like Alpha Class Shadowverse. It was like the card game. We're like, we're just Ward, like just one word. We knew we wanted one word. And it works better for graphic design, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, I can
Just
imagine.
Fair.
one word.
Yeah.
And it's better than fantasy dungeon battles. So
Yeah.
That
But,
sounds like the name of like a Finnish band when
Yeah,
translated to
Fantasy
English.
Dungeon
Dungeon
Battles.
Our but the other thing that
Uh.
ended up landing on Ward was two things. The planet's name Ward because the creator made it and he called it Ward because he created the angels to protect it. A ward. Like
Mhm.
I know they always say like a psych ward, but the word ward is actually like a protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that in the first chapter. Yeah.
Yep. The other was our old paintball team was the Blue Wardens. And we wanted to just we just thought it sounded cool. So we just took Warden off of it or N off of it and just named it Ward.
which
Okay.
actually drives back even further. And so in the game Dark Souls, there's the Blue Sentinels, and they're like you can get summoned into someone else's world to go help them, right? If like
yes.
get invaded. And
Mhm.
so me and Joe and some other buddies were playing Ark, and we named ourselves the Blue Sentinels. And so we would go and help other people getting raided in Ark
Oh,
as
that's pretty
the Blue
cool.
Sentinels in the
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
And so when we made our paintball stuff, we named ourselves the Blue Wardens. And then so that led into Ward. So it was kind of this progression of kind of all the way back to
It all started with Dark Souls 3.
All started with Dark Souls 3.
At one point, it's like a weird twisted version of what happened there.
Interesting.
Dark
Cool.
Souls.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Like if somebody was like, if somebody asked me, what was your inspiration for the word ward? And I said, the Blue Sentinels from, and they'd be like, what? Then we'd have to logic and see how we got to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Okay.
is really cool. Inspired from video games.
Right. Well,
That's
and that's
awesome.
one of the things we love to do is we built this game for ourselves, and we are inspired by video games because we play video games and all the different stuff. But it also comes from lots of other things. You've got like we got stuff from where we live. We got stuff from where our cabin is. We've got family. We've got friends. We've got IP that is we just love. Like the Enlightened Souls card. It's a nod at the ancient ones from or the ancients from Stargate SG-1. So yeah, it's just all this different stuff all over the place that we nod at with our own flair. Just because we are a bunch of nerds just playing a game.
Essentially, Ward is like all of our favorite like things growing up jammed into one game. Is really what it is. Like in a nutshell, that's what Ward is. Yeah. And there's obviously new stuff we make up. Like I don't know what a monkey duck is, but
it's cool. At the same time, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Chain Lightning came from literally World of Warcraft, where Tom would use Chain Lightning with his Tauren Shaman.
Yeah.
Nice. And it's a super generic like spell and everything. Yeah. So I guess that works too.
Well, and then even like really simple things like dinosaurs. When we first built this, I was very opposed to putting dinosaurs in the game, and Joe goes, "No, we have to have dinosaurs. They're way too cool to not have."
Exactly.
I mean, dinosaurs are awesome.
And I told him, I'm like, they don't fit with fantasy. He goes, "I don't care. We're putting dinosaurs in." We put him in.
They do. Dragons fit in fantasy. Dinosaurs are just our unwinged dragons.
Right, there we go. See,
we decided to make it like in the story. Like, would it be cool if there was like literally a war of dragons and dinosaurs?
See, that's awesome.
That's like me playing with toys at home. And
I like that lore. The fact that the demons then eventually come in and they start fighting the dragons as well. The fire guard comes out from the dragons burning. Giga just starts chomping on everyone. My God.
And that's another thing. There's no clear good or evil person in Ward. That's another big thing. And that's a big Game of Thrones thing that we took inspiration from. Like nobody's actually a good guy except Jon Snow was a good guy.
Jon Snow's the only guy who's like, you could specifically like, he's good. And Ned Stark was pretty honorable.
Ned Stark was pretty good too.
And
Ned was still. Oh no, Ned wasn't sleeping around. That was a myth. That's right. That was a lie. Yeah, Ned was a good guy too, though. But yeah, so we always liked that aspect, and that's how like Warcraft and Warhammer are too. Warhammer is a whole nother ball game.
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%.
I like playing the video games. Oh, not getting the tabletop.
Like nobody's good or bad, but in Warhammer, like everybody's evil.
Yeah, everybody's evil. Yeah.
Even the Imperium of Man. That's for damn
One of my favorite things from Warhammer. This is so off topic, but I'd love to figure it out in a word somehow. And we've kind of been toying with this. Is the what are like the insectoid race again? The
Tyranids.
What's that?
Tyranids.
Is that Tyranid? Yeah,
Tyranids
with a T.
So, Tyranid.
Yeah.
They it's not in their lore, but it's like rumored through their lore that they've already taken over the entire universe, and this galaxy is just their last stop. The Warhammer galaxy.
I have heard that myth. Yeah.
And they're basically what is theirs essentially just a scouting party and just waiting for like the main force to show up and finish off the rest of the universe. I've always liked that idea, and we've toyed around the idea. It's not in the story yet, but we've toyed around the Visitors from Beyond is something like that. But then we've also thrown out the idea. Remember this, Tom? We talked about the Visitors from Beyond being kind of like the Beyonder from. Yep, we've talked about it being kind of like the Beyonders from Marvel. And we've also toyed around with them basically having the exact lore as like gray aliens too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
We've talked about
no one's going to believe you.
Right. No one will believe you.
That's why all their cards go back to your deck and then come back out. They just keep running away.
Oh,
I like that.
Yep.
I really like that.
Yeah, so that was
canon. That's now canon.
That was something we knew we wanted to do, and Tom wanted to do this from day one with the Magics. He wanted to put lore or something on the Magics. I just told him there's just not enough space. You need all the space, but with the new card design, kind of expanding all the boxes out a little bit and not having such a large border, we were able to have some space to at least throw something on the Magics. Just as like not necessarily lore, but like quips,
and it adds flair to it. I like it. It makes it fun. It
reminds me of like the way they did with comic books, where they would put like a little subtext of what they're thinking.
Oh yeah,
so in the little box.
we took inspiration from Borderlands on this. In Borderlands,
Oh.
when you would see a new character, it would like stop the
Yep.
screen.
Oh
It
yeah.
would-
Yeah, do their introduction. Nine Toes
Boom and
also
boom.
has
Nine
3
Toes.
balls.
Yeah, I was literally Nine Toes. Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. So we decided to do something like that. Like you had said with Close Encounters, yeah, no one will believe you. And somebody looks at that and they're gonna immediately be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's an got it.
No, it's like there's the magic card Mr. Evil, right?
Yeah, his name is Paul.
My first name is Paul.
His first name is also Paul.
So that one with
Paul Evil.
Paul Bazakis, that's our sales rep and like the boss at GTS Distribution. Super nice guy. We ran into him at Gamma, and me and Tom needed just like a generic name, either like Joe or Tom or Mike, and just to be kind of funny. And we're like, hey, what was that guy from GTS name? Oh yeah, Paul. Like, all right, perfect. His first name's Paul.
His
Paul
first
Evil.
name's Paul. Paul
Oh,
Evil.
evil.
And he's
Oh.
one of the nicest people on the world.
He is. He's like the nicest guy.
He
And
is. He's super nice.
yeah, every
Oh
time
man.
yeah, we work well with GTS too, and they're a good distribution company for us, and we've got a few lined up right now, especially after Gamma, because Gamma's like the mecca of board games, card games, anything off the screen for businesses for the year, because
Oh,
not
okay.
anybody can just go.
Yeah.
You have to get an invite or approved to go. You have to at the very least be a retail store or someone in the industry. So like fans can't go, cosplayers can't go.
Mhm.
It's there's literally seminars you'll sit in, like literally business seminars. It's a gaming thing, but like I was sitting in sitting in one for trademark stuff, and it's just an attorney up there talking in front of a screen just about trademark stuff. So
Mm.
it's like very business. But then they open up the exhibit hall, and Asmodee, Bandai, the Pokemon Company, all the biggest companies in the industry will be there, and they will have all their new games and stuff coming out. And everybody's making deals, they're making connections. We're going around talking to distribution companies, linking up with manufacturers. So it's like all business. We didn't make a dime off this thing when we go, but we gave away a lot of free stuff, I'll tell you that.
But you also made connections, like you said, and that's
Yeah,
the
it
most
makes
important
connections.
thing
Yep.
in business from day one.
big
It's who
connections.
you know.
Yeah,
Well,
there was
And it's about fostering those relationships with a lot of like, there's also just retail stores there too, because they're looking for another game to bring to their shop,
Mhm.
right? And so they come up to us and they go, man, I love this game. Here's my information. We go back and forth, and now this week here, since we've been back a week, we've been calling these people, and they're like, oh, this is going to be great. Can we set up official tournaments? We want to do learn to plays, and so now we're supporting them with this, because it's everyone's goal. Your guys, ours, to expand Ward, to have more people to play with.
Exactly.
It's a fun game that we all believe in, and we'd love to have this as prevalent as Pokemon or Magic, so you could go just to your local shop that's down the road and go play with some friends,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
in a hopefully pretty casual way, because we designed Ward to be like just like obviously there's high end Ward, and
Yeah.
the tournaments do get pretty nasty sometimes. But
I'm
Ward
sure.
Oh yeah.
Ward at its base is supposed to be a game that you just like, hey, do you want to pull out Magic? Like, I don't have the time. Let's just do a game of Ward tonight.
Well,
Yeah.
You don't have to
Someone-
think a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
one
just-
time, I think they meant it as an insult, but they're like, this card seems more like a pizza and pretzels kind of game, and we're like, that's great. I love that.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes.
start using that as my marketing tool. A pretzel
Right.
and pizza game.
Yeah, it was after Gen Con. A guy did a video on a bunch of the TCGs there, and we were one of them. And he's like, "Yeah, Ward is kind of like your beer and pretzels type of game that
Yeah.
you just sit down and play." And I don't know if he meant it as an insult, like Tom said,
Maybe.
but
I
like
love it.
literally, we saw that. Like, yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
right.
just
exactly what
pull
we
it out,
went
just
for.
like play it, like not worry about anything. It's
I
just
mean, you're
fun.
not wrong. Magic is definitely a steak and margarita type of game. You're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, you're gonna sit
Sit
down
for
and
a
be there a
while.
minute.
You have to learn everything about it. We're like Ward.
Oh man,
No
yeah.
joke. Right now, like if there was a store near you guys, which there might be. There was a lot of stores we linked up with, so hopefully
Yeah.
one pops up near you. But if you wanted to go down to a tournament or you had somebody new and they're like, I've never played before, be like, here, go buy 3 booster packs. It'll be like $20. That'll be enough to
Mhm.
just play. You will have a deck. You might not do the best, but you'll have
Yeah.
fun and you'll be able to
Exactly. Yeah.
If it shows how easy to learn and stuff this is, I taught my 8-year-old nephew how to play one day because he came over to my house and I had the cards out and he seen them and I was like, "Here, I'll teach you how to play real quick." Boom.
Yeah.
It was super simple.
Oh, that's awesome. And who
Yep.
won?
We didn't finish the game. He had to leave,
But who
but
had the
he
most in the
knows how to
graveyard?
play. He knows how to play. He did.
Who? Okay.
He did. Thank you.
My 6-year-old daughter has been using it too because it's helping with her math skills.
Yep.
Like a lot.
Oh, nice.
A
Yeah.
lot of kids. There's a school in somewhere in like middle Minnesota around the cities, like Minneapolis, that Ward got banned.
Marty was telling us that,
School.
and like I
Yeah.
told him, you
Yeah.
officially know you're cool when you end up in the teacher's desk drawer. Like if
Yep.
you end up
Yes.
in there with like the rubber band guns and all that, you're
Yep.
awesome. Like top tier.
Ward got banned because kids were fighting over cards and they're pulling them out and not doing their schoolwork when they're supposed to. And me and Tom heard that, and first reaction was like, "Oh, that's not good," and then our other reaction was like, "That's pretty sweet." actually.
Yeah.
It is pretty awesome.
That's kind of exactly what you want, man.
Right?
Listen,
You want
they
to
have
play with your
Pokemon
cards.
back in our day,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wait. So we're basically Pokemon now? Cool.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yeah.
When I was in school, it was Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh got banned in my school so much.
Yep.
Every deck
Yep.
ended up in a teacher's drawer, and you got it at the end of the year. So many kids were mad.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and me and Tom, I guess I don't know how old you guys are, but we kind of missed the Yu-Gi-Oh blast when it first came out, like the early 2000s. But we were there when Pokemon came out, and when it was the trifecta, the anime, the Game Boy game, and the cards.
Yep.
And then by the time Yu-Gi-Oh became kind of prevalent, we were kind of at that age where it was like not middle school, but like junior high, where like that stuff was seen as like nerdy.
It's for that's for little kids. That's for the babies.
Yeah. So, and then it took until about, God, we started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again and some Magic in college that
Yeah.
like nobody cared anymore
Mm.
about like the stigma was just gone because like
Yeah.
nobody really cared. And then we started getting back into it, like, man, remember how fun this actually was? Like, we should just do this more. Yeah.
That's
But-
fair because our first TCG was Lorcana,
Oh,
and
okay.
we started playing that way too much to the point where I have a massive collection
Steven
of
bought
too many
them.
cards.
Steven
many
does that with
cards.
anything though. He has so many ward cards as well. He gets into
Yeah.
something and he just buys. He just buys.
I have obsessions. But to be fair,
Well-
I seem to hunt for one card and can't find it.
Well, it should be a little bit easier in Gen 3 to find the cards you're looking for. We made
Oh,
some
yeah.
adjustments to some
yeah.
things because it was pretty bad, and the other ones, like some people would have a lot of issues with trying to find the card they want to the point that like Raccoon Knight, there we go. That it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah. Steven has one, and
I
I'm
have
like,
one, and
Wow.
no one else I know has one except
For us to
someone who
get a
trade
Raccoon
for him.
for us to get a Raccoon Knight to put into our book, just to have a full book of all the cards, I had to trade a guy for it just to get it. I'm like, what the heck? It's my game. I'm trading it.
Traded for it.
It's like I
Oh,
made
man.
these. Why can't I just have the card? man?
Why?
What?
He knew he was in a position of power because it was right before we went to Gamma last year, and we just
Oh.
released Gen 1, and there were still cards we were missing. And I'm like, Tom, we can't go with missing cards in the book. We have a couple cards we don't have. So I'm like, okay, there's a tournament being held down there. I'm going to go down. I'll make a couple trades, see if we can just at least get one. And this guy knew. He knew he was in a position of power, and I traded like 6 legendaries for 2 epics. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then he hit his 150 right there too.
Told me about,
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man.
So he
told
got
me
me
about
and
it
he got his
afterwards.
150.
I'm like, Joe, that's an awful trade.
Right.
And I'm like, it was a stupid trade.
You
But
imagine
we got
Maximilian
what we needed, and
Pegasus.
we needed the book.
Imagine Maximilian Pegasus walking out there to Weevil Underwood and go, "Hey, can I get your like larva bug?"
Yeah. Yeah, and the cards I needed was a Necro and an Alvarine, which is the 2 I needed, which is sad.
Oh,
Oh man.
We
Hey.
That really stings.
Yeah, Gamma went super duper good. It exceeded our expectations by an insane amount. The reaction to the new card design
Oh
was
yeah,
it was insane. People were going nuts over it. We had guys from Magic the Gathering at the Wizards booth that were having to sneak ward packs into their bags so their guys didn't see them doing this. That same thing happened at, do you know what Elestrials is?
I've heard of it before. Yeah.
Lestrios.
So
Yes, I've heard of
Alestrios,
that one.
they were there too, and we went over. We go to the other TCGs. We do a little pack exchange. We get some of theirs. They get some of ours.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he grabbed them, and he wanted to get some more. And then he's opening them and drooling over the cards. And one of the guys who's like the boss at their booth, he's like, "Hey, put that crap away. What are you doing? Like, we're here for this." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "I'll look at these later."
See, you know you're
Orgasming over
doing
there.
good.
Yeah. And I know he came and walked past our booth a few times and wanted to come play, but I guarantee you, just being there working for Alestrials, they weren't going to let him.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
And see, and that's the difference with us. You know, I think Joe, you went and played every TCG there.
All of them. Yep, all of them. I
Because
learned how to play all the
yeah.
TCGs that were there. There were
we just
16.
like playing these games.
16.
Well, also,
Yeah,
you
that
should
was a
think
lot.
about it. They should think about it from a business perspective too. If you know exactly like what your competition is doing, you can be like,
Yeah.
okay, we're not going to copy their homework. We're going to do something different.
Yeah,
and
Know
exactly.
what not to do.
Yep.
Or if
and
I'm doing it better,
helps
they can
you-
rip it off.
Exactly.
And it
Right.
helps you.
Man, you need to work for Illustrious.
It definitely helps you kind of get an idea of these games. So like people reference them all the time, right? We'll be at like Gen Con or something, and someone will be like, "Oh, yeah, I've been playing a lot of like this game." And then for talking to them, I know what they're talking about at least at a base. So I can like carry a conversation, be like, "Yeah, I play Alestrials, and yeah, I like the system they do." Too many keywords, in my opinion, for that with that game. That make it kind of tricky to someone new to learn.
Yeah.
There was another one there. I'm not going to say their name because they were super nice and they played Ward a ton during game night and they just loved everything about it. But this game was so overly complex that me, as someone who's designed a game, was having trouble following their demo game.
Ooh.
It was a mixture of he wasn't great at teaching it, and just the whole thing was like it was loaded with keywords again, so I didn't know what the keywords were, and he was explaining them all to me along the way. And it just, I don't know, like the way it played was just so overly, it would appeal to a hardcore TCG player, I think, but that's it. You're never going to grab anybody else with it, which
Okay.
I think is a mistake. On my opinion.
I know a game or two that's like that. That's I've tried to play, and I'm just like, I'm not that into card games as much. I can't take the time to learn this. It's too much.
Ward, we champion Ward to be. I mean, this is what I tell people, Tom, and you've heard it too when we do our demos. I tell them after the first battle of the game, I make sure we don't play any magics to start the game out when I'm teaching. Because once we get through the concept of a battle, because that is very unique to Ward, even though if you might play D&D, Ward's battle system, it'll remind you of it, but it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But once you get through a battle, what the back and forth is going to be, then suddenly they understand the game, and all the magics they have in their hand just magically make sense now. Like all of it just starts clicking.
Yep.
And then we start playing
Good
through
pun.
the game. There's little questions here and there, but yeah. So yeah, pun intended. But yeah, so that's we always champion, like you're gonna, like within a few minutes you're gonna understand how to play this game at its base with no problem.
Yeah.
And then for the people who are like, it seems a little too simple for me, then me and Tom or Marty or whoever, we go grab out like our 30 card like tournament decks and we let them play with them. And then for those guys, they're like, wow, okay, yep, this can get complex if you want it to be. And so it just shows them like at its base, Ward is like crazy easy, and then once you dig into it, you're like, wow, there's so many combinations of what
there's a lot.
Yeah, at these events, we actually cut our card. We don't have the 30 card decks. We have 15 card decks to do demos with.
Ooh.
And Joe actually has an idea to do a tournament called Turbo Ward, where it's 15 card decks. And so same rules, just only 15 cards.
Interesting.
And the reason we got that idea, or Joe did, is because it goes so well at our demos, and you can learn the game in like 10 or 15 minutes with half of a deck size. You don't even need a full deck to learn the game. You just need half of it in 15 minutes. And people learn this game.
You nailed it.
Wow, that's great.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
I think that would be a cool
Turbo
mode.
Ward. Can't
Turbo
wait.
Ward.
That'll be a fun one. I also want to try a game style that is a booster single pack crack where you literally play with the 12 cards that come out of the pack, and you either play to 300 or to you're out of creatures.
Oh,
Interesting.
oh, that could be very interesting.
I like that.
With our old ones, it just didn't work because there's only 9 cards. But with the
Yeah.
12 cards, it's kind of close to our 15 card demo deck. So we're like, dang, this could be a fun game style. And that's something that leads me into that is that we've always wanted Ward to feel like you're like, you guys ever play Halo or like Call of Duty or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump on and you play the base game, which is usually like for Halo, Team Slayer is probably your base game.
Mhm.
But then you can go play Infection. You can go play Juggernaut. You can go play Big Team Battle. All these different styles. And we've always wanted Ward to be like that. Like these cards are just your toys. And then now here's all these ways to play with them.
I think Average
Okay,
Joe is one
yeah.
of my favorite ways to play. Just doing
Average
common,
Joe,
uncommon.
I did
love
one
it.
of those.
Very
I only did
fun.
it one time. Crazy fun.
It's so
What
fun.
It
Completely
is.
different strategy.
Yeah,
when
it's
you're-
pure deck building at that point. It's like,
Yep.
what can you do with these very, very limited cards?
Average
Yeah.
Joe has definitely grown so hard that maybe even next year for the Ward Bowl, maybe part of it is an Average Joe format that is like separate happening, or we host a separate event that is the Average Joe Ward Bowl finale.
That would
That'd
be
be cool.
awesome.
Maybe instead of a pack crack next year as a secondary thing, it's an Average Joe
Mhm.
style too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Just
Yeah.
because people have loved it so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Average Joe is super fun. That and three-way battles. I like doing a good three-way battle as well.
So
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
did
no.
a
Up
four-way.
getting a good 3-way, baby.
Yeah. We've
Sorry.
done, what I've done was it was a 5 free for
Oh.
all.
Wow.
Oh, really?
It feels like you're playing a game. You ever play Risk?
Yeah.
So in Risk, you're obviously like kind of making and breaking alliances. And when we did the 5-way battle, it was like that. Well, one, nobody be on my team because they just like everybody just wants to beat me right away. But people like
one rule: never trust Joe.
But
Yeah.
well, Marty told us the rule is never trust a Casey. And
Yes. That's what he said.
And it all stemmed from we used to play a game. We'd play a Risk game on our old Xbox 360 at our cabin, and it was like I forget what it was actually called, but essentially, yes, I would betray everybody.
It might have actually been called Risk because they had Risk on the 360. I remember playing that on one of my friends.
Risk Global Domination. I
Yes.
think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
one you're talking about.
Like the
Yep.
cat
And it was like,
general.
there's like cats and zombies and stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking
We
of.
played it a ton. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So, but like
Yeah.
one of the fun things about this like free for all that happened was I was probably losing the most out of this entire fight, and Marty was winning. And so what I ended up doing towards the end of it is I equipped, instead of powering up my guy, I equipped all my best equips, which were pretty good, to Marty's character. And I'm like, now if you kill me, I lose the game and you lose all these buffs. So he could not attack me anymore.
That's
I
smart.
He was so thrown off by that. He had no choice but to ally with you. He had no choice. It was
You
clever
turned
play.
yourself like into a parasite that attached yourself to them. Like, if I go, you go, buddy.
Yes.
You
We're
pulled a
going up
Mr.
together.
House.
Clever play.
Everybody works for me eventually.
But that's something we try to push with Ward. All these different game styles. We will have a clean PDF, kind of like we did with the rules.
Okay.
Of all these different game styles coming out very soon. I've got it on my list of things that needs to be done. And it'll, even though you know how to play Average Joe, we actually don't have anything on the website of what that actually is.
Yeah, because when you
So,
say
yeah.
it, you're like, what does it even mean? What do you mean?
Yep. So we're gonna have it nice and listed out with like Average Joe, Turbo Ward. Ward RPG will be its own separate PDF because that's got a lot. Ward RPG is
Yeah.
crazy fun. Yes. So I don't know, Tom, if you want to talk about that a little bit. I realize it's been an hour and a half. If you guys don't stop me and Tom, we're gonna just keep
I was
Oh, no, it's
actually
good.
I was gonna
Yeah.
come to about
We
another
will
15,
keep
20
talking.
minutes to let you guys keep going and everything. Because I set the meeting for about 2 hours because I had about
Oh,
2 hours of time. So like
that was kind of the time I took out too.
yeah, so we are perfectly fine to keep going.
Should
Yeah.
I talk about Ward RPG?
Yeah, I was actually
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
ask a little bit about that too. I'm curious about it. What made you guys think that you could like do an RPG with cards to begin with? Because that seems like such a out of the left field idea to begin with.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
And the
if
reason
it-
we wanted, yeah,
I'd
the
never
reason we
seen it.
wanted to do that is because the game was originally built as to replicate an encounter in D&D.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
that was always like what we tried to make out of this. And then after we've been playing this game more and more, we're like, we actually got inspired by someone. I think it was in the Rochester tournament or Rochester convention last year.
Yes.
They go,
Yep.
I bought some cards and I don't play the game, but I run a campaign based off your cards. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? And so we talked a little bit, and it was definitely the most rough draft version that you'll ever think of. But we're like, you know what? It inspired us. Like, let's actually do it. Let's make our RPG mode off this. So during our year-end like nerd weekend that we still do every year, we did it. I ran the DM for this, and then Joe, Marty, John, and our buddy Brandon, they all started out with one creature, and it was I basically approved a creature for them. It was like their starter Pokemon, but it was their starter creature. And so Joe, you started with Orc Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And so, and then as they did encounters, like their first thing they fought might have been a kobold with a magic ring on him. And if they beat it, they would then have to roll dice based set on off the challenge rating I set for those cards.
Okay.
And in the official version, we're going to have each rarity will be a set DC or a challenge value.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like any like D&D campaign. You homebrew what you want to homebrew, right? You know, like I'm never going to make people hold like do the wait for gold.
Heck, like, I don't make people. I don't when I DM, I don't make my players count their arrows and stuff because that's annoying. Like if you're an archer, you gotta quiver full of arrows. You're good, buddy.
Yeah, like, exactly. You know, maybe if there's some special like explosion arrows, maybe they might have 3 of those, right? But like, standard arrow. Oh yeah, I want to carry 700. Oh, you can't. Like, come on, Legolas never ran out of arrows.
Exactly.
I'd lie. So, but yeah, so that's how we did it. And so every encounter, they had a chance to capture or gather these items from the encounters, and then they would go to town, and then they, instead of buying stuff, they would have to spend cards in their decks to buy other cards that the merchants might be selling.
Trade.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah.
So they have to trade up a value. So if like they're like, oh, I want to buy that celestial power or trade for that celestial power, you know, that merchant might go, cool, I want 8 epics for it or something like that. And they're going to go, I don't have any. We're close to that. Well, you can't get it then. So, you know, it's too expensive. And so then they went through and they found the Hive Lord. He was a crazy dude out in a shack. He had, you know,
so he's like the Hive Lord.
The Super Hornet was his stay-at-home wife. You know, it was this whole thing.
Oh, so it worked this time.
It finally worked for him.
He has a wife.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, the way it works out is like you start out with just one card in your deck, and you're slowly building your deck up instead of your character, like you wouldn't be
building game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
I
you
like
can do
that.
it through, like Tom said, you can do it through trading at a card shop, where your cards are your own resource. You do it through battles where, like Tom said, you have to roll at the end of the encounter and see if you can capture it. And then you decide who you're going to split the cards up for. If you can't decide, you just roll off to see who's getting it. And then the way the battle works is if you're playing, have you guys ever played team battles in Ward before?
Yes.
So in team, like it plays out as if it's like 1 versus 2. Like I go, you go, Tom goes, you go, I go, you go. That's how it plays out in this, where like the DM is actually playing as them, and it's playing out like you're playing team against one person.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
kind of like the way
they get a lot of actions compared to you.
So like a lot like the boss decks too.
I was about to say that. Yeah, kind of like the boss decks.
A mix of those two styles.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and we only decided to do it when we saw how much people really did like the boss decks and be able to sit
the boss
down.
decks are fun.
Oh my god, they are. Yeah.
And then we figured like, well, we could play off this more. We could keep going with the RPG mode.
Yeah, because I'm working on a deck that I'm calling the Revolution to fight the Frog King and beat the Frog King. It's all frogs. It's gonna all be frogs.
All frogs, the Frog Revolution.
The Frog Revolution. Yeah, they got to overthrow the king.
Right.
They need some kind of leader, though.
The Beavers. I'll lead. The Beavers will lead the Frog Revolution.
The Beaver. He doesn't get enough love.
He doesn't.
Here's a little
Easter egg.
Yeah, here's a little Easter egg for you.
Marty loads up on Beavers in his vampire deck because the Vampire Lord heals for double, and the Beaver only costs 10 health in your cemetery. So yeah, he's got a lot of beavers in there. So there's definitely use for those crappy cards, which we
Mhm.
did on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a little Easter egg for you based on bosses, but yeah, we are working on like a Gen 2 bosses.
Ooh,
So we're kind of in the we're picking out which ones we want. Got a handful of
Interesting.
them that we've kind of created the ideas for.
I
Um
uh,
yeah,
I thought of a boss type that would be kind of cool based off of the big mouth bass card, but
absolutely.
instead it's just big
Love
mouth
it.
boss.
The
Big
big mouth.
mouth boss.
And on his turn, you roll a dice, and if it's a 1 to 3, he sucks up a magic card. If it's a 5 to 6, I mean, sorry, 4 to 6, he sucks up a limited summon. He
Oh
can't
my
get rid of
God.
your primary creatures, but he's
Yeah.
annoying as hell.
The
That's-
big mouth
so-
boss.
Yeah.
That's a fun card effect. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
But with
Go
with the
ahead.
Gen 1s,
Yeah.
we wanted the boss's mechanics to be relatively easy because it was still
Hmm.
new. It was
Yeah.
something we hadn't done. It's something that nobody has ever done, is something like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but now with Gen 2, I think we're going to open up
Oh, yeah.
and we're going to start to look into, we might dig into a little bit of World of Warcraft past and look at some of the fun
Ooh.
boss mechanics from those. And we
Mhm.
might
Yeah.
start trying to find ways to fit that into our cards. Like, with like maybe a boss has limited summons this time
Oof.
that you actually
Yes.
have to get rid of. And maybe the limited summons can take damage, stuff like
You need to
that.
do that.
That would
Yeah.
be
Makes Missile Toad better for the bosses.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Or streetlights. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Streetlights.
streetlights as well.
And
So,
we're not holding ourselves to the current rules of the game with the bosses. We're letting ourselves like explore it a little bit where the bosses might have the exception of breaking actual game rules.
That makes sense. So they're the boss.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah, they're
are
the
a
boss.
boss. You should have to work around that.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and they
But it'll be
are
clear. It'll be laid out though on
Yeah.
the boss's like description and mechanics that like kind of like what we did with Hagen, right? So like normally limited
Mhm.
summons can't take damage. It literally says on the card this one can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you bend and break the rules depending on the card effect.
That
I like
works though. Having a nice clear set of established rules mean that in the future you can be like, oh, this one card breaks this rule just
Yep.
because it's this one card.
Yep.
Yeah, that's any game really.
Yeah.
Yep. Give your base rules and things that break the rules.
And if
Yeah.
you don't have, like, you guys have made it where you have a good set of base rules that's easy to be like, well, this one breaks it because of this reason, whatever. A lot of games I've seen that they try to do that and it's like, well, that's confusing as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way
I always tell
Magic is.
people if they don't understand a card, just like take a breath, read the card effect, and go with whatever your first instinct is. And that's most likely going to be right. There was actually a guy today asking a question about a card, and he had said something about like getting like something that he felt was like a wrong answer on Discord. And so he reached out about it, but his initial reaction to how he thought the card should be played was right. So
Oh,
yep. So I just reiterated to him like, yep, nope, this is right. I'm not sure who said that to you on Discord, but it happens. People
Yeah.
interpret
Right, yeah.
things differently. But I always say just read the card and take it at its base level. If a
Mhm.
card doesn't say something like clearly, don't just pretend it does.
Yes. I have seen
Yeah.
a couple people
Oh
try to
my
do that,
God.
and I'm like, what are you doing?
Don't read between the lines. Just do what it tells you. That's it.
Hell hath no fury does not negate the attack. Okay.
Nope, it
That
doesn't.
is one of the
It doesn't
biggest
say it
things.
negates anything. Yep.
biggest thing in the game of like, oh, it negates. Like, no, it doesn't.
No.
Never ever has it done that. But people play it like that all the time. I'm like, why? Where does this come from?
Yep. Yep, they do.
I know.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things we definitely laid out in the rules was some things we made clear was limited summons are clearly laid out
Mhm.
in the rules guide now.
Yes.
Because that was a big
Yes.
one that people always had issues with. And then the
Limited
other
to 4.
one is the limited summons anchoring effect
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
needed to be addressed and really clearly laid out. And then
Steam Rex.
what's that?
Steam Rex.
And Steam Rex, my God.
What's up with Steam Rex? I don't have one of those.
I love that card, but like
Just
There's
what
so
can
many
affect him? How
questions that
does
come
things
around
affect him?
we
Mhm.
we talk to each other about Steam Rex all the time, and I regret making that card the way he is. He was designed to punish people who use way too many lightnings and negates,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
Okay.
people that also use cards that kick creatures off the field. He was designed to punish those people. He still does.
Yes.
I think if I were to rewrite him, I would simply leave his effect of like the double damage if people play lightnings, and I would just make him say,
Give him like a permanent lead boost rather than a
Yeah, permanently he just can't be removed from the field by your opponents.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
That's
a
how I
good,
would
that'd be a
be
good
running,
ability.
but
Yeah.
we're past that with him. We have to make do with what we got.
Fair.
Yeah, we gotta
That's
make do with what we
fair.
Thing's a
got.
menace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you guys said you didn't play in Gen 1 only a lot.
Yeah.
And that was the meta in Gen 1 only was you put every negate in the game in your deck, and that's the strongest. Those are the strongest decks in the game.
Mm,
It's just and it became very problematic because there was only almost like 3 deck styles that could really be played in a top tier level. And
that's
so
not
when
fun.
when we made Gen 2, we added a ton of counter cards to that effect. That's why Hell Hath No Fury can't be negated. Celestial Power can't be negated. Creator's Gift can't be negated.
Yep.
Steam Rex isn't affected by it. You can see a theme because of how Gen 1 created a meta. Gen 2 almost got overdone a little bit with
Yeah.
counters. But the nice thing about Gen
Irresistible
3
love.
is
Yep.
Gen 3
Yeah.
didn't. Gen 2 didn't have that like meta in it. So Gen 3 allowed us to build kind of anything we wanted without having to like compensate for a problem in Gen 2 or 1.
Yeah, you're kind of starting
So-
at a fresh start. You're like, all right, we can kind of baseline now.
Kind of. There was
Yeah.
a little meta
There's a
that we
couple.
wanted to address in Gen 3, and that was limited summons.
Yeah, I will say limited summon. When I first played the game, I like two games in later, someone played limited summons, and I was like, what? The whole thing
Yeah.
is 1v1. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where in Gen 3 we definitely added in a couple cards that make it so limited summons are still super fun to play,
Mm.
but there's no way there could be a meta in the game anymore. With a card like Streetlights existing,
Mhm.
Or Mistletoe, yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no way.
Just
You-
miss out, Toad.
Yeah.
Not
right.
on my
This-
Akanos,
this
no.
Yeah, you play him and you put a little bit of hit on him, and all you gotta do is just hit once, and like all their creatures they're just dead.
Yep.
Like, yeah. I mean, I play a lot of limited summon decks, and I still probably will, even though I know those exist, I'll just have to take that risk and realize that like I might come across a deck with my limited, like my creator deck. I love to get him out with a helping hand and then have 2 of them on the field at the same time, just as like a
Oh.
flex. And then
Just a flex. Just a
and then
flex.
if somebody
Yeah.
plays a Mistletoe and then puts a little bit of hit on him and they hit my creator, well, okay, I
Well,
lost.
there goes one
I
of your
lost.
creators.
All right,
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
But I will say, I like the fact that y'all have limited the limited summons
yeah.
as a way to say it, but I miss being able to have 7 limited summons on the field because I had 3 Akanos, 3 Harpies, and 1 Creator's Gift. Sorry, 1 Creator with the helping hand.
Whoops.
One
The
game.
in the rules, you can only have 5 creatures out total.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, it is
Cheating.
I was cheating. No,
Cheater, Steven.
Yep.
Cheater.
Five limited summons and 5 infinite
no, it's-
magic.
You can have 4 limited summons in your primary, so 5
Oh,
total
yeah,
on the
so yeah,
field.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 total
Okay.
creatures.
Yeah.
But still, if you get like I did play one where I had my Undead King out, and I had 4 limited summons out of my cemetery and a Flame of the Infinite on the field, and I was just wrecking them. And all my limited summons, I had I had 3 assassins out and 1 Egg Taroth
Ooh.
on the field.
and
And just every turn, it was just a wreck fest. And they
Yeah.
couldn't stop it. So, but it's also like that's the mythic card, so like he should be good.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
he should be.
That's
Yep.
the whole point. If you can stop it, you stopped it. But if not, well, that's on you.
I do want to see a battle of like the best mythic card decks and see which one is the best. Be
That
fun to
would
see
be
someone
interesting.
Create a legit Undead King deck, a good Cabal War Chief deck, and a good Creator deck, and have them see who really is got like the best, which is the best of them. Because it's hard because the Creator just his raw power is insane.
Yes,
10 plus
10
10.
plus 10 is insane.
Yeah.
You don't
So
need
good.
to buff them at all.
Mm-mm.
Undead King, if the rolls are on your side and you suddenly have, like I had, you have 3 assassins out and an Egg Taroth and your Undead King, like you're rolling so much damage every turn. And with the Cabal War Chief, where he gets to attack twice during turns and he can't be kicked off the field, and he's a 5/5,
Yep.
like I don't know.
You could do
It's
some
tough.
damage. Yeah. That'd be a hard choice to actually see which one's the best. That would be a good like online battle to do is be like, here's every single card. Go ahead and build decks around these three guys, and I want to see who can do the best one.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
Very good online battle.
we did that with Gen 3 during our first play testing. We took all the armor level 12s for Gen 3 and pitted them all against each other. And the Cabal War Chief did not win.
Oh,
The
Oh,
Hive Queen every single time. The Hive Queen.
really? The Hive Queen.
Even with the Cabal
Interesting.
War Chiefs attacking twice,
yeah.
his +5 would still give a solid chance to miss once in a while. And the Hive Queen with that +7
Yeah.
never missed. So
That is a solid +7. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like 5 to 7 is what the kind of plus you need to pretty much not miss in general.
yes.
Mm.
And I guess before we concluded here, we did go through Tom, is Gen 1 and 2 the new stuff on the website yet?
Yeah, it's on there.
It is. Okay, all the remastered stuff. And if
Yeah.
people look at the remastered, they can see that we went through Gen 1 and 2 and we reworded every single card. And there's no card that we did not change a little bit. Some of them you won't even notice. Essentially the wording is just cleaner.
Yeah.
Might be like a
There's certain
drama
ones-
or something. Yeah.
Probably something that you already read naturally that your brain just
Yeah.
added it to it.
Like with base attack dice, like adding the base before attack dice roll,
Yeah.
or the hit
That's
attack dice. Yeah.
An absolutely key thing we
Sorry,
had
hit
to
roll.
address,
Yep.
especially with Jerry.
I love
Mm.
Jerry. Jerry,
I love him. He's a great
Yeah.
We're all gonna love Jerry. We're all gonna love Jerry a little bit more in the future too.
Oh,
Don't give that away yet.
Okay.
But
Ooh.
very, very soon, everybody's gonna really want to play Jerry a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yep, and that'll be with Gen 1 and 2. Wow, that might have just given out way too much. So, oops.
If we need to cut it, we can. Just let me know. If I need to cut
Yeah.
it, let me know.
It's fine. It's coming out soon. We're gonna get
Okay.
this out. I want to get people playing it so bad.
Well,
They're gonna love they're gonna
That's
they're
fair.
gonna love the remastered version of this with all
Yeah.
the stuff in it. And there's we added secrets into these too, like we did with Gen 3. So even for those who already went and got a bunch of Gen 1 and 2, there's still
There's
plenty
even
of
more.
ways to get these. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's stuff that is in these that you'll definitely want to have as a
Yes.
collector and as a player.
Yeah. So
Okay.
even the people that don't have them all right now, they'll want to still get them because they'll want some of those cards. Like you said, you don't have a Raccoon Knight. But even for those people that did have everything already, for the true diehard collectors and stuff like that, it might actually help people that don't have the stuff because now you're pulling stuff that they're going to want. So you can trade up for some of their older cards that will now gain a lot of collector value too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's going to
Yeah.
really benefit everyone with these remasters.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because once that stuff's gone, there's still some boxes. I've seen a few of them on eBay and stuff, and a couple stores have them, the old stuff. But yeah, once that's gone, it's gone. We're not printing it again. Just like we did with Gen 1 first edition. It's a reward to those who joined in early.
Yeah.
Like here you
Yeah.
go. These, like for example, you guys have a bunch of the original stuff or the original Gen 2s.
Yes.
Yes.
It's nobody else after it's gone will be able to have it. So like if Ward gets as big as we'll say Pokemon someday, that'd be cool.
Mm.
But the stuff that
That'd
you
be
have
awesome.
will not be available to
Mhm.
them at all. We
Yeah.
don't plan to ever print it again, so it'll keep its value.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I say with the trajectory that you guys are on, it's probably going to hit there because it's been gaining popularity a lot so far from just what
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
noticed incidentally.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. It's a lot of work we do behind the scenes that people
Oh, I
don't
can
know.
only imagine.
It's
Oh, yeah.
all day, every day. I'm sure me and Tom will talk 3 more times today about stuff we have to get going.
Absolutely. Like, look at, I had to run upstairs and change my shirt. That's like 2 full minutes.
Well, I gotta say, guys, this has been fantastic. Thank you for joining us. I've had a
Yeah,
blast.
thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Thanks for having us on.
Of
Yeah, thanks,
course.
guys.
Anytime that y'all want to come on again, just let us know. Open invite.
I have
Perfect.
one more question.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Steven.
What is the shape of Ward? Is it a sphere or is it flat?
It's in our world, Ward is a planet.
Yeah.
Good, okay.
It is a
It
planet?
is a sphere.
Okay.
There are
I just
other
wanted to know.
planets.
Like
Yeah.
he said, it's a flat planet that sits on the top of 4 elephants on a giant turtle flying
Yeah.
through space.
I knew it. I
That's-
knew it.
I think Lord of the Rings, though, that's how Gerald Tolkien has it. I don't think it is a spherical planet. I believe it's a plane.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yes, I
you're correct
believe it's
about
a
that.
plane.
Yeah.
So
If
that's a
I've heard
legit
that
question.
right.
Well, all
I
right.
just had to know. Yeah, thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
guys very much. It was great to talk to y'all.
You
Yep.
too. Bye.
Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Hey,
Thanks,
stupid.
guys.
Stay stupid, everybody. Bye.